Good afternoon, Greg Waring. This is Campaign Chronicles. As you know, I talk about the experiences we've had so far on this journey to be your next county commissioner for District 3. Last night I was at the Bryan's Road Fire Department for a water permit hearing for Dominion Cove Point as they continue to push on building a new compressor station in Bryan's Road. It was interesting at that hearing. I noticed an interaction between a local influential lobbyist and a representative from an equally influential group of churches. And what was really interesting about the interaction is after it, that group of pastors submitted a public statement for the record that I presume to be in support of the Dominion compressor. And I say that because I remember last fall that same group of pastors testified on behalf of the compressor before the Charles County Board of Appeals. I was disappointed by it then. I'm really disappointed by it now that they continue to support the compressor because there's more information available now. You know, we all have testified against that compressor. The Bryan's Road community has grown in opposition to it because it doesn't provide any jobs to Charles County. No significant jobs to Charles County, I'm sorry. It doesn't provide local short-term construction jobs. And none of that energy flowing through that pipeline will directly benefit Bryan's Road, the western side of Charles County, or Charles County as a whole. So it's really disappointing that instead of using new information and making a good decision, that it appears that group of local church leaders will double down and continue to support the compressor. Now, I say all this to say that you should really research your candidates and ask them tough questions on what their relationships are, what projects they endorse or support or have knowledge of. So, for example, this group of local lobbyists, I believe, also is supporting some of the other candidates out there. You should ask them. You should ask those candidates, how do you feel about the Dominion project? What's your relationship with some of these groups? And if they don't have an answer or do support that project, you should take that into consideration. It's also interesting that the current Board of Commissioners hasn't really been challenged on what they feel about that project. I was at a town hall in Bryan's Road a couple weeks ago where Commissioner President Murphy was confronted about the project, and he expected to be asked about it. And his answer was that the Bryan's Road community, those folks that are against the project, should organize and talk to the local and state delegation about how they can impact the project and stop the project. Well, you know, respectfully, I said, sir, you often tout your strong relationships in Annapolis as a qualification for re-election. So what have you done? Have you reached out to Annapolis? Have you worked on behalf of Charles County to stop this project? It's a little late in the game to tell those that are against the project that we need to organize. We actually have organized, and we have been fighting this project, and we have reached out to Annapolis, and we have written to the Maryland Department of Environment. So it seemed a bit disingenuous, and I think you as a voter, as you're doing your research, getting ready for June 26th, or even as early voting this Thursday, June 14th, should ask those tough questions of candidates. Now, I know when you hear, me talk about Dominion, some folks may say, here we go again, he's an environmentalist. I would say that I was personally affected by the project. I would also say that I think I've proven through my experience and in some of the conversations that we've had, some of the forums that we had, that I'm an independent thinker. I can use data, and I can use the impact on people, and I can make decisions on projects based on their merits. Now, the Sierra Club did not endorse me. I didn't seek their endorsement. And in fact, they in part probably did not endorse me or even consider me because they know that I'm against the WCD. I think the Watershed Conservation District has some unintended consequences and that it's regressive in policy. Because what's going to happen is down the road, it's going to increase the transportation, the services, and the tax burden on Waldorf and the rest of Charles County. So, throw a label on me, don't throw a label on me. I can think for myself. I can think on behalf of our communities and make reasonable, balanced decisions. I just ask that you do your research. I know you're doing your research. This is crunch time, and good luck in making a good decision on behalf of Charles County. Have a great day. Bye-bye.